Hello, my friends. Welcome to this Together Run. I can't remember what number we are, 72 maybe. I'm excited that you are here. And today I am taking you on a run in Forest Park. No, not the Forest Park that I ran in recently in Oregon, in Portland. This is our Forest Park here in St. Louis. Just putting my glove on. Our Forest Park here in St. Louis. And I haven't been over here in months. But, I just felt like I needed to connect with nature. I know we always talk about that. And on that note, I want you to find something to ground with. But I just felt like I needed to connect. And while this is not in the middle of the woods by any means, it's definitely closer than I'm going to get in my home. So find some element of nature, touch it. I'm just going to step on these crunchy leaves. Well, they're not crunchy, but there's piles of leaves. I want you to ground yourself. And are we ready to begin? In 3, 2, and 1. Off we go. Oh, that smells. What does that smell? It's like cherry cigar or something. Very pungent. Okay, so where do I want to go here? I hadn't really thought this through. We're going to go this way. I'm going to head over towards the fountains. I actually can't remember. I'm sure I've done a together run here at some point. But I can't think when it was. I also want to say that I know I don't need to apologise, but I wasn't able to get a together run out last week, and that was because I was injured. Do you remember all those times on the together runs I'd been talking about my heel as we did the body scan? I would say my heel's a little bit achy for the first 10 minutes or so. Well, and I did say multiple times, I probably should go see someone, I need to go see someone. Well, the world, as I've often talked about on these runs, my body did what it needed to do and took it up to the next level and made me go see him. Ended up being my Achilles. And so I'm very glad I did act when I did. And today I'm going to do this run with you, and then I'm going to attempt to do a few more miles. So hopefully we can take my next step towards 10 or 12 miles. But so I think last week I was running 20 minutes or something, so definitely not enough for a together run, and definitely not ready emotionally to do a together run, because as you probably know from your own niggles and injuries, as you are coming back from an injury, your brain is just so obsessed with is it hurting, has it feel? So it just wasn't ideal for a together run, although maybe it would have been ideal to distract myself, I don't know. So today I'm recording this on a Sunday, and you're going to hear this on Monday. So pretty close to when I've run. But yeah, so didn't get one out last week. Have decided, for those of you on Patreon, you can hear this as well, but we have decided we're going to shift back to weekly together runs on the main feed. I just got the feeling and the sense that bonus ones weren't what people wanted. Those of you who do support on Patreon are doing it because you believe in all that I'm doing and all the work and energy, not to get extra stuff. And I really love seeing your runs and your pictures of where you're running. And I just wanted to bring it back. Just didn't feel quite right doing it over there. So we will be doing them. Oh, listen to that. Yes, that noise. We will be doing them every week on here from now on. So just wanted to let you know of that. And if you are a Patreon user, you can log in and check out the video I made about that. Going across this bridge that always feels like it's going to fall down. Going across a little river, creek thing with the ducks. Alright, so on that note, let's smell a mulch. I feel like this is like alive right now. A strong mulch smell. Okay, I want us to begin. We're going to go ahead and do our body scan in a minute, a few minutes into this today, but I just wanted to say a few things as to where I've been and why I haven't been around. And now we're going to get back to regular programming. I feel like I'm like alive right now. I'm seeing all the shoots, like the daffodil and the early shoots are just starting to poke out of the dirt and the mulch. We're away from spring yet, but nature's getting itself ready, in position. This mulch, there's these shoots are everywhere. It's just so nice. So let's begin by taking a few nice deep breaths in. Let it out at your own time, your own pace. Let's take another 2 deep breaths at your own pace. One more. And next, I'm going to invite you to join me for a body scan. So what that's going to be, if this is your first time joining, is we're going to start at the top of your head. We're going to work our way down all the way to our toes, just to check in with the various parts of our bodies and see how we're doing, see how we're feeling. So you ready? Starting at the top of your head, working your way down. Let's check in with those eyes, making sure they're not scrunched or squinting. Continuing down through your nose and into your mouth. Nice and relaxed. Make sure you're not holding tension in your jaw. As you check in with the back of your head, going down into the back of your neck. As you continue working your way down into your shoulders, going down the upper arm, around the elbow, into the forearm and wrist. As you check in with your hands and fingers, make sure there's not scrunching or holding tension there. Nice and relaxed. As you continue on down into the main part of your torso, through your chest, through your stomach, checking in with your lower back, continuing on to your hips and pelvis, checking in with the thighs or quads and your hamstrings, the back of your leg. As you go down to the back of your knee and the front of your knee, as you continue on down into your calf and shin. Keep on going down into your ankle, your inner ankle, your outer ankle, going down into the heel and arch. As you continue working your way through the upper arch and the ball of the foot, finally into the toes. How's everything feeling? Just give you a minute to reflect. For me, I do still feel that little heel area that I was still feeling before. But as we've said, got some work to do, continuing to do work. First, we wanted to do the repair with the main part of my Achilles where it was really sore. And so I'm working with my chiropractor on some exercises But yes, definitely still there right now, just on my heel. Okay, so next we're going to do our senses check-in. So what that's going to be, we're going to work our way through our 5 primary senses, ending with sight, because that's the one we overuse. We're going to begin with your sense of smell, your sense of taste. So why don't you go ahead and take a nice breath and tell me, what do you smell? For me, I definitely still smell that mulch smell. I used to not like that smell, but I do now. Also, I just smell like a crispness. And next, I want you to tell me, what do you taste? And just think about it, because I'm probably not going to say it out loud, are you? What do you taste? For me, I taste the chocolate squares I eat before I headed out the door on this run, because we have a... Oh, it's going to be a bit loud for a second. We have a big square of dairy milk, big bar, super-sized bar that my mum and dad got me when they came over, and I haven't opened it until yesterday, and I just can't help myself with those dairy milks. Oh, if any of you are ever, if you're English and you come over to the US to meet me, bring me some dairy milk. And no, when I buy it over here, it doesn't taste as good. I don't know why. I don't know what. I know it's all owned by Kraft at this point, so it shouldn't be any different, but for me it does taste different. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, that's what I taste. Next, if you want to take your headphones out, you're welcome to do so. If you would rather keep your headphones in and just listen to my sounds, you're also welcome to do that. But I'm going to ask you to just take 45 seconds to a minute to be in your surroundings. What do you hear? A few more seconds. Okay. What did you hear? Just reflect on that for a few seconds. What's going on in your surroundings? For me, what do I hear? I hear cars. I hear some kids playing. I hear the leaves blowing in the trees. I hear my footsteps. And I hear that woman with kind of somewhat deep breaths, or heavy breaths. Next, we're going to use our sense of touch to see what we feel around us. Just be in our bodies and notice where our attention is getting drawn. Just paying attention to the sensations, tactile sense. What do you feel? Let's go ahead and just let that come to the front now.
Hello? Yeah. Have a day or...
A few more seconds. Okay. What did you feel? Where was your attention being drawn during that time? For me, I was feeling my phone in my hand, my headband on my forehead, my fingers a little bit chilled, and my breathing maybe a little more laboured than I would want it to be. I'm going over that bridge again. Yeah, I know I'm going over the same spot in like 15 minutes. But I went a different way to see where it went, and now I'm back where I was originally going. Always learning the trails around here and where they go. Okay, thank you for checking in with that. And finally, last but certainly not least, our sense of vision. I want to ask you to look around you, take some details in. You can look wherever your attention goes. As always though, I just ask one thing, and that is you find something at some point to just hone in on to get some details. As if you're taking a mental photograph of that moment. What do you see?
And I was just like,
distracted, gently bring yourself back. Using that vision, what do you see? Final few seconds. Okay, thank you for checking in. I'll go ahead and do mine. I see, what is that building? The Art Museum, I think. St. Louis Art Museum. And what's the hill called? Shakespeare Hill? Sorry, Art Hill, I think. Here, to my left, to my right, there's a lake with fountains. There's people walking their dog. There's hay bales standing with the orange kind of netting tape around the lake. I'm not sure what that's about. Like literally hay bale, hay bale, hay bale, hay bale. I don't know what that's about. And okay, let's pick some kind of detail. I see a tree over there, which I'm assuming to be a sycamore based on the flecking off, is that the word, of the bark and the white underneath. Yeah, it's a sycamore. Beautiful tree. Just see all the little seeds. I'm assuming they're seeds or like spiky balls that they're growing, and there's one of them. There's four trees. Clearly one is the mother, and the other three are like the babies, and one of them is bent at almost a 90-degree angle. Maybe I should take a picture of it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to go take a picture of it for you. then we can carry on. It's quite interesting. Right, glove off. I haven't stopped my watch. Oh, we're still recording. Yeah, so you'll see the mother tree has a big hole in it, actually. Definitely think it's dying or something. Glove back on, and then you'll also see the hay bales in the background. So maybe someone can tell me what that's for. Okay, thank you for checking in with yourself physically. Next, we're going to do a mental health check-in. And I just want to ask you, how are you? Really? And if you know me and you know these together runs, you'll know I don't want you to say, good, you? What would you say if we were together? If I asked you that, or even if you weren't going to either answer that, what would you say is your mental state right now? How are you? Really? Let's go ahead and answer that. Got distracted, gently bring yourself back. How are you? Really? These birds have a lot to say. All right, friends, final few seconds. All right, thank you for checking in with yourself. Even if you weren't quite able to stay in that the whole time and you got distracted, or you said this is dumb, or you kind of reached the end of where you were prepared to dig to today, that's okay. You still had that quiet time with yourself, which is something we're not great at taking generally, but it only serves us when we do allow ourselves to uncover what's really going on, because then it can stop finding holes to poke itself out of at inopportune times, and because we are instead addressing it, you know, in the moment of what we feel, rather than just exploding or getting angry or getting upset when it kind of comes to a head. Oh, I hate this class. My car's license plate is go die. They just let me go ahead of them. That's quite funny. It doesn't actually say, no, I see it, go die, but it's like G4 die with a 1, which kind of seems a lot like go die to me. Hopefully I won't. Okay, for me, where are we at? 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the 30-minute group. If I get distracted and carry on too long, at 30 minutes, come to a walk. And we'll do some strides shortly after. I'll explain what strides are. All right, so how am I, really? I am feeling so much better having come over here. I was talking to one of my close friends recently about getting out in nature and how much I've been missing it. And while you can hear there's cars everywhere and it's not exactly immersed in nature, it's more than I was getting in my suburbs, where a lot of what I see on my runs is man-made everywhere and trees disappearing by the day. So it kind of leaves me feeling more dejected than filled up. And so I was driving over here just to do something a little bit different and just get away from where I live. And I feel good having done that. I feel like I can feel the sun shining on my face. See the trees all around me, and lots of open space to my right, and so that feels good. Also been feeling a little bit, I definitely had to do some mental health stuff this week. I had been feeling a bit like my loneliness feeling was kind of high, and while I have Steve and I have the girls, I just was missing some deep conversations. It's hard for Steve and I to have that with our situation, and yes, we've acknowledged and accepted and realised that we need to do a better job of getting out and going for a date night or finding a way to do that. But I also mean from friends, hadn't really had a deep conversation with friends, and I needed that. And so I made the effort to do that this week. I also have an interesting story I'll share with you in a minute about something else I did this week. But I feel much better now than I did 10 days ago, where I was feeling just kind of fed up and a bit down. So I know this is one day, and obviously things can change at any point, but for now, feeling more positive and hopeful. I'm just grateful that I could have the time to come over here and the desire to do so, and I don't drive other than to the trails very often. So yeah, I'm just feeling appreciative right now of friends, of family, of Matt, you know who you are, and just people, humans, good humans. Yeah, that's actually, I think, it, which might be a record for me in terms of the how are you really. Shall I go a little bit deeper? Okay, what else is going on? I feel still a little bit frustrated with Bailey and her eating. And I've mentioned it on Together Runs before, and it's really not as simple as it sounds. This is, as I've mentioned, and if you've heard me talk about this, you'll know this, but for someone who missed that, we're not simply talking about a stubborn 4 to 5 year old who is not wanting to eat things to exert control. This is a literal sensitivity. Will come home from preschool some days having gone in at 8, coming out at almost 4, having not eaten anything, because literally that's the look she has on her face when I put something in front of her and she just can't eat it. It wouldn't matter if I said, I'll give you a whole chocolate cake if you take one bite of this yogurt or cheese or whatever it is. She can't do it. And so I try really hard to be very nonchalant about it, not pushing her, but also not pandering. And I don't make her own dinner. I just say, well, here's what we've got. And it usually ends up being the same old things. And so she either eats those or she doesn't eat. While a lot of those come to a walk 30-minute group, while a lot of those are, a lot of the time she will, either eat a little bit or not. She's growing fine, health size-wise, she's fine. But it's still kind of getting me down a bit because it's exhausting every day making a dinner that she will try. She'll take most things, unless they're wet and soft, which is a lot of things, she will try it, but she just has a sensitivity, and I don't want to, I know I would cause real deep lifelong trauma by forcing her to eat foods. I'm just not prepared to do that, but it's still, I think it's time we went back to the child therapist we were going to, or find another one, something, because I can tell she feels bad for not being able to eat those things, and I really struggle with just dinner time is just becoming a stress. So yeah, there you go. All right, so 30-minute group. You are going to do this from a walk, the rest of us are going to do this from a run. We're going to do 2 times 10 to 15 seconds with about 30 to 45 seconds in between. 30-minute group you'll walk, the rest of us will jog at about 80% of what would be a sprint for you, and just trying to wake up the legs a little bit. Okay, you ready? 3, 2 and 1. Here we go. And come to a jog or a walk. Give you about 45 seconds and we'll do it again. Actually, I think I might take this moment to go ahead and have us all stop. Yes, stop. We're going to do this next stride from a, pause your watch. We're going to do this next stride from a standing or a walk. I want you to go ahead and take a picture of you on your run, of your surroundings. My watch has stopped, so you should stop yours too. I want to see where you're running. I don't care what you look like. I just want to see you. I want to know who I'm running with. That's your gift you can give to me. If you appreciate all that I do, you appreciate these runs, is sharing it on social media, in your groups, wherever else. Just show me so I can see who I'm running with. That's all I ask. All right, have you taken one? Okay, ready? We're going to go straight into a stride, all of us. 3, 2 and 1. Off you go. Stop your watch. Just 10-ish seconds. Okay, 30-minute group. Thank you so much for joining. Go ahead and upload that picture so I can see you. And see you on Wednesday on YouTube for a weekly stride, and on Friday for a regular episode. And I will see you next Monday for another one of these. Thanks for joining. Okay, for the rest of us, we're going to continue on. The next part, let's go ahead and feeling an urge to have us take a breath. So go ahead and take a deep breath in your own pace. As deep as you can for running. Next thing we do is we do some updates. So I want to have you just share some updates since the last time we did a run together. Might have been a week ago, might have been yesterday, might have been months ago, might have been never. In which case I want you to just tell me a little bit about yourself. If we were running together, what would you tell me? Just think about it. And let's go ahead and do that now. Thank you. If you got distracted, gently bring yourself back. What updates do you have? What have you been up to? All right, last few seconds. Okay, thank you for sharing. Thanks for thinking about it. And well done for giving yourself some quiet time. It's not easy to do. And it takes courage to really be with yourself and not choose music or something else to distract you. And you know, or you're learning if it's the first with these together runs, they do force you to have quiet time. And even if they're just a few minutes here or there, it's still good for us. So well done. All right, so for me, what updates do I have? Well, the last together run I did, where was that? There's one in Portland that was for Patreon only. So before that, it's probably been like at least 3 weeks because of this whole injury. Which that in itself is interesting because that was such a good example of where I had the temptation to blame one thing for it and say it was a fluke and write it off. But I knew deep down, and I know right now, that it wasn't one thing. But I had been in Portland, did a 2.5 hour run with Yassine Daboon in the Portland Forest Park. It was beautiful. I hadn't run that long in probably close to a month because I had this nasty sickness. I think last time I recorded it together run I was like at the beginning of that sickness. It ended up lasting like 2.5 weeks, and it was only once I started supplementing with this Orlo nutrition immunity boost that it started to really go. It just seemed to be never ending and like stuck my recovery. And you can learn a little bit about Orlo. I'll put a link in the show notes. But for now, yeah, so I had that nasty sickness. I did that long run with him. Felt pretty good. We went nice and easy. It was nice to do. Really enjoyed myself. And then the next day, I did a run from Steve's sister's house, and I ended up doing quite a lot of steep hills. I wasn't running hard, but it was pretty aggressively uphill for like 10 minutes at a time here and then down and stuff. And then I took a day off as we flew back that day. And then the following day, my training partner Lane was doing his last workout before his marathon, and even though I hadn't done a workout because of the sickness, I wanted to join him. So he was doing, what was he doing? I think it was like 2 mile or something. No, that was it. It was a 3 mile tempo. And I knew I'd be struggling to keep up because I hadn't done anything and that sickness wasn't quite gone. But I thought I would hang on for as long as I could, so at least had some company, because I hadn't been able to be there for him the last few things. And so I wore a new pair of shoes that I've never worn before. And it was a prototype shoe. And sorry, that's not true. I had worn them before twice, but that had been easy runs and short runs. So I hadn't worn it on a workout. Wore this new prototype, totally testing things out. Like, this is testing a new material, new everything. And so I knew deep down, you know, this is uncharted territory, you know. This is not like getting a sample pair a few months or before it comes out. This is literally like years ahead of time. And then struggled through this workout, just about finished it with him. Like, I was hanging on to finish. The next morning I wake up, can barely walk. And I'm like, where did this come from? So I immediately call up chiropractor to get in. Thankfully, he had some availability, and thankfully he's a friend, so I can text him, and I understand that's a privilege that not everyone has. Got in to see him. He did some needling, which I hate, but it's effective. And he said, I think it's Achilles. And so in that moment, it was tempting to blame the shoes, right? To say, well, just that pair of shoes. I'm testing this out, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's all the shoes. And yes, maybe the shoes did play a part, and I did give that feedback to them that, you know, it's a bit of a coincidence here. But there is absolutely no way I can just blame the shoes. And that's what we are often tempted to do, is blame one thing. Or like, you know, had I not worn the shoes, it would have been, well, it's just because I did too many hills. And yes, I did do 2.5 hours of hills, plus the next day being hilly, plus that hard workout with Lane. But it can't just be that either. And also, that pushes my blame off me, right? The running too much, that's me. But the shoes, that pushes it off me. Whereas in reality, I haven't been doing any strength training. If I had been doing strength training, maybe my body could have handled it. If I had been doing, you know, paying attention to that heel pain, which of course turned out to be connected, it's the same foot all along, and I'd gone to see someone when I told you I should have, maybe I wouldn't have been in that situation. So I share that because it's a good example of what we as runners or as humans do when something goes wrong, or at least I do, is look for something or someone to blame. Anything, so it's not me and my negligence, or me and my, like, not doing what I should have been doing. So, is that what the definition of negligence is? No, probably. I just could hear someone being like, yeah, that's negligence, you just said it. So, yeah, I wanted to share that for that reason, because that is an update, and it did hold me back. And now, not beginning again with my fitness, but I've kind of lost a lot of the high-end speed fitness that I had before by going through this. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, like, I haven't had anything really in 2 or 3 years, I don't think. So I've got away with it for quite a long time. And to be honest, I don't know if I've learned my lesson enough. I haven't done strength training since I have done the exercises that Brennan sent me. But once this is totally gone and he gives me the all clear to not come back again, which could well be my appointment tomorrow, I don't know if I'll stop doing those too. Could do. Knowing my history, that could well be the case. So, yeah, I share that to say I am human, just like you. Sometimes I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing. I blame other people and other things so I don't have to accept responsibility. But also to say, if you are injured, coming back from injured, getting a niggle or something, firstly, go get it taken care of. Go see someone, like right after you get done with this run. And if you're 45 minutes now, you can come to a walk and you can do that in less than 5 minutes. And if you are supposed to be doing an hour but your pain is pretty strong, come to a walk right now and go do that now. Also to say, you know, we need to do something about it. Clearly for me, doing my own strength training is not working. Maybe I do need to go get a new strength coach to work with in person, because doing it myself is just not happening. I'll explain more to that in just a second. There's more to that. Those of you who have been with me for a long time are probably thinking, one word, one person, and yes, that is the factor. So let's do our stride. You ready? 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, come to a jog or a walk if you're doing 45 minutes. If you are doing 45 minutes and you didn't take a picture earlier, go ahead and do that now while we're waiting. So you can share it, I can see you. Please, I really love to see who I'm running with. It really brightens my day. Yep, got 10 more seconds and we'll do another one. You ready? 3, 2, and 1. All right, come to a jog and walk. 45-minute group. Loved running with you today. Thank you for joining me. If you have a few minutes to leave an iTunes review, that really helps people discover me and these runs. You can share them with your community. Thank you for joining. You're welcome to listen to the rest of this story, or you can head off, up to you. All right. So yes, the elephant in the room for me, or maybe what I'm using as my excuse, is as I said, I need to find a new strength coach to be with in person. But the problem with that is Drew. I love Drew like my brother. I still miss him. I feel like I'm betraying him, which is not the case, and he wouldn't see it that way. But it's more that, like, for me mentally, it's like, well, no one's going to be as good as him, and everyone who I go see, I'm going to be comparing to him and say, well, Drew told me not to do that, or you are doing this wrong, and I'd just be judging that person. And I recognize that I'm absolutely using that as my reason why I haven't found someone new. That and the money side of it, I know it's expensive to go see a strength coach once or twice a week, but the reality is I need to overcome that, and I need to go in somewhere to change that. and it's going to be hard. And I feel like I owe Drew an explanation, which I know I don't, but I feel like I do. And yeah, I'm like worried, even though I know he won't be, that he'll be sad and disappointed, and I don't know. So yeah, that's all tied in to my injury. I'm gonna have us go ahead and do a body scan right now at your own pace. Do it what feels right for you, and we'll check in a minute. Last few seconds. Okay, thank you for doing that body scan, checking in. How do you feel right now compared to at the beginning? Any different? For me, I definitely feel more warmed up. But I definitely still feel tired. Everything feels like it's moving nicely, but I do feel fatigued. And that's just, I think, the haven't been running as much thing. Okay, so what else? So more updates. Let's go ahead and do that. Just figuring out where I'm going. Updates. Well, do I have to share? Well, I mentioned Orlo. That's a new brand we're working with. Sustainably made omega-3s from algae, 3 times more absorbent. And I've really been enjoying taking their products and learning about them. Definitely aligned with me over at Running for Real. And I'll just mention this once because this isn't an ad for them or anything. It just, if you are interested and curious, if you go to the link in the show notes that I'll put in there, you can get 37% off right now. My code is valid for 10%, but they have an extra 27% off right now. So go to orlonutrition.com, but use the link because then that'll give you the code. What else? But I'm excited about working with Orlo. That's definitely an update. What else? Oh, the Red S course, of course. That's what we've been working on. We, at Running for Real, have been working really hard on a Red S recovery resource. Red S is relative energy deficiency in sport. And even though that sounds fancy and sounds like it's something reserved for elite athletes, it doesn't matter. Like, people of every weight can have Red S. People of every speed can have Red S. People of every mileage can have Red S. So you can't be thinking, well, I don't run enough to have that. Or I'm too big to have that. Or I eat way more than all the other runners and people around me, so I can't have that. This is a free resource. We're gonna go past the skating rink, so it's gonna be loud for a minute. It's a free resource, gonna be on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel once you're done with this run. It's gonna be free, 50 videos with the team. I really don't like this song. I don't know why. Never liked it. 50 videos, all just literally the questions that you, my audience, have sent me over the years about basically your body not functioning, either like getting injured a lot, it just doesn't feel right, your period is not there, or you're just know deep down something is off? All of those questions I've literally taken and asked these experts one at a time. So it's just very simple, very short, 2 to 4 minutes each video, just for everyone to learn. And if you are a high school or college coach, if you have kids in high school or college, please, when this comes out, send this to their coaches, send this to your athletes, send this to everyone, because the whole point of this is to be educational and really prevent the next generation of kids becoming the people like me who had this for 9 years and no one seemed to care. And again, I'll mention this is free on YouTube. So if you go subscribe to our channel, and actually you, my friends, if you subscribe, we're at like, as of me recording this, we're at like 980 something subscribers. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, YouTube really helps me out and they start giving me some financial reward, and also they give a bit more control, so, or like ability to manage my profile. So I'm actually asking you this as a friend as well, if you could go do that. That will really help me out. Doesn't change anything from what you see. Again, it's all free. And then the second piece of it is, part of this Red S thing is, there's going to be a separate private group for people who are recognizing that, yes, this speaks to me. You know, right now listening to this, whether that is you or not. I know there's many of you with a pit, like a knot in your stomach or a lump in the back of your throat right now as you're listening, because you know it's you, and it was me, and it could easily be me again. There's another 50 videos for those in the recovery process, and resources like PDFs, worksheets, educational pieces, as well as live Q&As with these experts, and just community, a place to talk to others going through it. So the best thing to do is go follow us on YouTube, because that's where it's gonna, all those videos are gonna be. Okay, so I've got maybe 3.5 minutes. We'll do our last set of strides in 1.5 minutes. But for now, what can we do? I'm going to have us spend our last minute just being quiet and looking around you, or feeling, being in your body. What do you appreciate right in this moment? It can be little things or big things. What are you appreciative of right now? What are you appreciative of? Keep on going. Okay, thank you for taking the time with yourself to think about that. Let's go ahead and do our stride. You ready? 3, 2, and 1. Come to a jog. I know you can jog in between if you can handle an hour. And I want to say in this moment, I know I've said a lot of things for you to go check out or do. I've given you a lot of demands. So go to the show notes for this episode, or wherever you're listening to this, like show notes, podcast player, whatever, and go look there, because all of it is there, because I know it's a lot to remember. So yeah, Right, you ready? We'll do one more stride. 3, 2, and 1. Alright, come to a jog. Got less than a minute now. Gotta be honest, there's a part of me that wants to cut this run right now. And I also want to test myself out a bit and go a bit further. Like I was planning 12, but 5 more miles seems like such a long way. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just been a lot the last few days, having the girls by myself for 2 days, or if I'm just tired. But yeah, seems I'm going to do some variation of it. Steve said 1 hour and 20 minutes, so I think I'm going to do that, another 20 minutes, but still, definitely feeling a little tired right now. All right, but I'm still going to come to a walk with you and come to a walk. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't taken a picture, go ahead and do that now. Really would love if you would share it on social media so I can see you. Send it to me in email if you prefer. And check out the link for all those other things. I need to find some element of nature to connect with. I'm going to find these dead looking bushes, but I know that there's life underneath. Just take a moment. Thanks so much for joining, friends. I'll see you next time.